backline. So now they have a Yuzong, which obviously can do go into the backline with the Black Dragon form, and if they do pick up a Lancelot, which is not all the time, and I thought that they're going to go with a tank or fighter-ish sort of jungler, but if they do go for an assassin jungler, this may kind of throw Smart Omega off to say that, hey, we weren't prepared for this, and now they need to give extra attention to the protection of their Bruno. But we'll see if it gets locked in, and yes, it does. So this is something sort of fresh coming from Yudu Red Giants that Smart Omega will need to adapt to.
Yeah, and we're also looking at another rapid tempo of play that they're hoping to achieve in that early game in order to secure those form of leads. But same style of gameplay for Smart Omega with a lot of variants of ensuring that the Yudu Red Giants and Smart Omega.
Oh, here we go. Jungle Invasion maybe by Smart Omega since they have the Baxia. So that's an option for them. Or if we learn from whatever that we've seen previously with Baxia, they like to go invade lanes instead of invading the jungle. So that is something that the Yudu Red Giants will need to be prepared of. We can see the rotation coming to the top very early by Yums, and he is on the Arlot, by the way. Not the first time we see an Arlot roam. So Arlot is rather flexible. No surprises there that Yums will be using it.
Yeah, I just wonder how much of a disruption can he actually cause towards this Baxia, though. I mean, you have a Kufra alongside, so I think like going for deep invades are rather risky. And now they're just waiting for Discord to accompany alongside. Rael will be able to jump right in as well. The moment he sets foot, you can see that there is just no way of moving out, forcing a flicker away, but still managing to stay alive.
Wow, that was kind of scary. But lucky enough, he had the flicker, so he's okay. His teammates were there as well, just to provide cover, just to provide insurance. But if Yums want to play the same style as before, like, okay, trying to go into the jungle, deep inside of there, without the flicker as an Arlot, no, he won't be able to do that. So from Smart Omega's perspective, because he has used the flicker, they know that he is at his own half for now. At most, he'll be just hovering around the river looking for opportunities, but they don't need to worry any further about the jungle invasion from Doom.
Yeah, and for now, Smart Omega will be in pretty much in a relief state where they don't really have all too much of a hindrance from the get-go, so they will be able to focus down any sort of target. And once again, they know that Yums have been weakened without a flicker. They're going to be targeting him all the way towards the back, managing to escape. One final blow coming from Rael, not enough, so it trades back. Gorgeous gets the first blood, but Sakai's is going pretty low, and Gorgeous may have to give his life up for this one. Could not really get a little bit of that movement buff to get away to safety, so it's a 1-for-1.
Well, 1-for-1, but the turtle will be in the hands of Smart Omega now, considering that they have shoot away the rest of Yudu Red Giants, but Yums is back in action. It's not like he can Retribution and really challenge for it, so it's going to be Matt that will happily take it away.
Yeah, and I guess like this is why not every game you could simply just apply Arlot as a Roma to actually get those leads, because once you have such a disruptive composition that is being displayed by Smart Omega, it is rather difficult for you to efficiently cause any form of challenge. And you just see a perfect roam coming out of the Kufra as well to always accompany the Baxia wherever you go. So Gramgot is just being a best buddy at the time being. Now they will start looking for their own as you see the Kufra slowly pathing towards the top side. So this dive is going to set right in, hunting out for that 1-1, and they might just actually find Yusuke again stuck underneath the turret. Nothing much left as Rael gets that easy kickoff. But here comes the Gore, trying to do as much as he can. But it is not enough. There's not much items for them to actually deal much. But here comes the back dragon form, Gorgeous, hoping to find something, but they have already got what they needed, and Smart Omega will just leave without much traces.
Yeah, with the Black Dragon form, Gorgeous arrives, but the party is over, unfortunately. But now at least Yoops is back. But everyone for Smart Omega, they've retreated. So, I mean, everyone committed to the top. opening up some space at the bottom. But at least for Skies, he's still there, so he can continue on the farm. But I guess that's also the idea of Smart Omega is like pull everyone to the top, have a little bit of time to recuperate, to reset, and focus on the next objective. That's the turtle.
Enough, and that's coming up within 8 seconds. The majority of them are still hanging around their jungle as well as the top end of the map. So the Boxeo will get that early lead. They can start chunking down some of the health if they want to. Meanwhile, Ryota has already scouted out the entire section of the purple side, and he can just simply solo it off. Smart Omega didn't really have to put themselves at risk throughout the course of the battle.
Yeah, I mean, the turtle went down just like that. You blink and you miss it, ladies and gentlemen, and it's now in the hands of Smart Omega. The second turtle, in fact, that they managed to take. Now, keep your eyes on the top. Yoda, a little bit of a risky play, but here's the Benedetta, and look at the level of mobility. There's no way for Yumski to be able to catch him.
Yeah, and I foresee this to be a huge problem because you realistically look at who from YRG can actually catch members out of Smart Omega, especially for that Benedetta. She's already so slippery, you don't necessarily have any form of a reliable stun or so in order to really catch that Benedetta. And what can that court do? Like, the moment that you want to aim for the Benedetta, she can just dash away. So it's not too much of a hindrance, which is why you can see a little bit more that confidence is beginning to spark out of Smart Omega. Now, looking for a little bit more of that invade, trying to steal the buff away. I believe that may not be successful of an attempt, but the rest of them congregate over the bottom side, and this is where Yusuke needs to buy as much of that space, and Ford just have to just expend this a little bit just to clear off these waves.
Well, look at the top lane as well. I mean, Ryota has the space of his life. Not only able to farm in the jungle at the top lane, but he's also able to push. I wouldn't be surprised if he can take down this turret all alone, but we have a movement here coming from Gorgeous. He realized that Ryota cannot be left alone, so at least he's there. But now with Skies passing by, at least he's a Lancelot, so it's as equally difficult to catch him.
Yeah, and for the rest of Smart Omega as well, like, they're starting to get a lot more tankier, so realistically there's not much for them to actually catch onto Humes once more on the chopping block, but there will be Prince Gorgeous to be able to dive all the way to West, finds the kill, and Zack Cutie have been able to melt down the Kufra as well, so they gotta find some magic resistance in between because this sword is also starting to hurt. Demon Hunter Sword now online for Super Civ.
Oh man, as much as they're gathering in the middle, look at the top again. Ryota is not letting go of that top turret. He will get it anytime soon. At the same time, the bottom lane, we have Matt all alone, but are they really going to commit onto him? I mean, he's kind of tanky as well. So it looks like yes, they will. But look at the damage onto Matt. He has no issue tanking it as the boxer he is. And now the U-turn is happening as Ray L has arrived. Zack Cutie is in trouble and he will be the next one to go down. Probably even Yumski, but Yumski managed to slide away.
Yeah, and the problem with Gord is that you don't necessarily have the best of mobility in your kit to actually get back to safety, so the entirety of Yuduru Giant understands that and choose not to commit for any form of save. Yumski is still trying to shove them all the way back, but still, there's no answers to that Benedetta, but this is where Gorgeous will continue to go for a pick. Meanwhile, a 1v1 battle going on over bot side as Riel gets shredded off by the crossbow of Tang.
Ah, okay, interesting here. At least the bottom lane, we can see that Gorgeous knows how to go to the back line. Obviously, that is his pick, and the moment he landed that kill onto West, that is just what they wanted. But now the fight at the bottom is beginning again as Ryota will get a kill for himself by straight up dive by Cram going down instead. Gorgeous is still there. And Gorgeous, he does not have the Black Dragon form. But Ryota does have the double kill onto his hands. Probably a triple kill even. But Yumski with a final slash to buy time for Gorgeous to get away.
Yeah, great distraction overall. And I love how Smart Omega understands that he can still turn back to catch that card off. Though the damage numbers have been pretty much convincing that you give a little bit more time, Zach Cutie can actually do a lot, especially when it comes down to those contests for the Lord. So, Smart Omega, they're currently on that even kill score, and also when it comes down to the goal, I guess with those trades that went in favor for Yudo Red Giants, they've been able to give themselves a little bit more of a space to play around this Lord for the time being. The Benedetta's looking for the bottom side. This is going to be an open turret for the taking because nobody is going to be manning it for now.
Yeah, the movement of Benedetta. I mean, the Benedetta, Ryota can even go to the bottom, take down the turret, and that's probably what he will do. Just waiting for Yudo Red Giants to sort of like semi-commit, and then he's kind of sure that, okay, it's clear, and then he'll go in for it. He's just gathering that information. But now, looking at Zach Cutie at the bottom, probably he will change his attention to supporting his teammates at the mid lane. And because of his presence there, and Yudo Red Giants do not have a full team, so Smart Omega now has control of the Lord.
Well, they got to find that firm entry. They do get a little bit more of that spacing, but the rest of them are also blocking off that mid-sector entry point. Humes, he finds one, immediately jumps over onto Eurota, and it's a scattered fight all across the block. Black Dragon Form used very early on. That was just a decoy of a distraction that Smart Omega has created. Now, quite a number of ultimates have been expended. Yumski as well as Gorgeous have reused his, but thankfully it's slow enough for it to come back online. Now, the Benedetta is really giving them a lot of questions to be answered, because this is where they will do objectives both at the same time, but it seems like there's not going to be a heavy commitment. They're just hoping to pull this one downwards, and this might just be pretty devastating without the marksman here to contest for the Lord for YRG.
Well, with the movement at the bottom lane from Ryota, it forced Super Sim to go into the bottom lane, and now at the top lane, this is where they'll try to get the Lord, but they'll need to take down Skies first. Skies managed to slide away, but the rest of Yudo Red Giants have arrived, and they will start off with taking down the tanker, Matt. And without Matt, they still have Cram. But then again, is that going to be enough? Is that going to be the risk that they're willing to take? The answer is no.
Yeah, no way they're going to be stealing this off of the hands of Yudo Red Giants, especially when you don't have any form of retribution to actually secure it. And now the floodgates will open up. Yudo Red Giants already have that poised position with all the minions now shoved towards the top side. So pressure is on. Smart Omega now facing the same sort of challenge back in game 1 through the mid game.
Yeah, now it's on the opposite side. The fact that the Lord is on Yudo Red Giants' side, it will push onto the bottom lane. Now this will put some level of pressure to Smart Omega, but it is still the first Lord, so it should be easy for Smart Omega to deal with, but they will still lose the bottom turret. The inhibitor turret should still be okay.
Let's see if they actually call for an engagement here. Sekai's, he is trying to find somebody to pounce on, but that's just a little bit more of that zone control where they will be able to also take down every single tier 2 turrets. And now Black Dragon Forum opens up that space. It just basically will be a drive-by where he won't get back to safety while the Gord slowly melts off Sir Matt. But they are going to retaliate. They jump right through, and that's the time range to the wall. They do take down the Kufra, and here comes the Benedetta. Ryota tries to shred off Sakai's, but it will be zoned off, and that is where Gorgeous still pops forward. And the rest of Smart Omega, they have to retreat. They have to get this one away. There's still Ray L. Can Ray L actually turn the tides around? No, it's not going to be the case. The inhibitor will eventually be opened up, even over the top side.
Well, welcome minions onto the doorstep for Smart Omega. This is where Yudo Red Giants, who bought enough time for themselves, finally took it down. And now there's at least a little opening at the top. The minions will be a little bit stronger there. Time for Yudo Red Giants to reset again and wait for the next Lord. But maybe if they can find an opening, they will go straight in as Matt. Slight trouble for him there, managed to get away.
Now, the trouble for Smart Omega is that they cannot get a clean entry for a dive. Every single time they set foot into getting a catch, there is going to be that board that disrupts them. So they cannot funnel down onto a game plan on catching up who the front line is. They need to find a sneaky way, and the only way to do so is to have this Vendetta to really put herself in a very risky position, and that is what Yudu Red Giants want as well.
Okay, now it's time to reset for both sides, as the Lord will be up in about 20 more seconds, so this Lord will be very important. Smart Omega definitely has a challenge for this Lord, and they can rightfully do so since they do have everything. The goal difference is not that far. Level difference doesn't really matter at this point. Everyone's almost at max level, so this is the time for Smart Omega to try to challenge for the Lord, but they are nowhere close yet. They're on their way, but not sure if they can make it in time.
Seems like they will just let this one slide as well, but there's still ample of time for them to actually make their way through. Here comes Sir Matt. Now it's all about where the court's going to be positioning in this fight. Sir Matt still in the middle of the fray as they do get a huge jump over onto Civ, but the crossbow of Tang will be put through. Matt is already down, and it will be Yudu Red Giants 2 in a row on that Lord, and the hunt is on. Gorgeous now looks for Cran, and can he actually make it out alive? It will have a tick of health left and will be brought down as well by Zach Cutie.
I was keeping my eye on Matt. He was walking his way and hoping to land that retribution, but he got taken down as he was walking onto the objective, and now this is the opportunity for Yudu Red Giants to end the game. Realta, what can he do? Together with his other teammate Ray L, it's going to be tough for them to try to defend this all alone, and now the Lord has arrived, but the Lord is not needed as Yudu Red Giants will bring us to the decider match.
What a beautiful game being played out for